The all-new PMP exam is here, based on the PMBOK 8th edition, and it goes into effect from July 2026. So in this video, we'll learn all about the new format of the PMP exam, which will matter to you as a PMP exam aspirant in 2026. Let's dive in. You see guys, PMI has just dropped one of the most significant updates to the PMP certification exam in recent history, and it goes into effect from July 2026. So here is the reality, okay? The new exam isn't just a minor refresh with a few updated questions, okay? We are talking about massive shifts in domain weightages, entirely new topics like AI and sustainability, a complete overhaul of the question types, and a fundamental change in how project success is itself measured according to PMI. So as a PMP exam candidate, you need to understand these changes to make an informed decision about your exam timing and your preparation strategy. So in this video, we will cover 10 points in order of priority, which are absolutely critical for you to understand as a PMP exam candidate in 2026 for this new format of the exam. And by the way, if you are new here, I am Ray and I'm a PMP and a Prince 2 certified project manager with over 15 years of experience in project management, and I have helped thousands of PMP exam candidates to pass the exam with the help of my learning resources. So let's get going. So first, let's start with the most shocking change, okay? The massive shift in the domain weightages. Now you see in the PMBOK 7th edition version of the exam, business environment is just 8% of your questions, okay? However, in the new PMBOK 8th edition version of the exam, which is launching in July 2026, it jumps to 26%. That's more than triple, okay? Now on the other side of the spectrum, people domain drops from 42% to 33%, and the process domain drops from 50% to 41%. Now this means nearly 1 in 4 questions will now test your understanding of the external business environmental changes, organizational culture, corporate governance, compliance, and how projects really fit into the broader business strategy. So if you're preparing for the new exam in 2026, business environment can no longer be your weakest area, okay? Moving on to the second change, the methodology split has shifted dramatically. Currently, the PMP exam is roughly 50-50 between predictive and agile or hybrid approaches when it comes to the question split, okay? However, in the new exam, the agile and hybrid methodologies will comprise of 60% of the questions, while predictive project management questions just drops to 40%. Now, this surely reflects how modern projects actually run today, right? PMI is explicitly emphasizing adaptive approaches, iterative delivery, and hybrid frameworks. So if you have been focusing primarily on traditional waterfall project management, you need to rebalance your study plan immediately because the new exam expects you to think agile first. Now, here is the third change that may not be very evident to the PMP exam candidates, okay? The new exam aligns with the PMBOK 8th edition, which has a streamlined version of just 40 processes compared to the 49 processes we had in the PMBOK 6th edition or the process group practice guide, which aided the PMBOK 7th edition, okay? Now see, PMBOK 7th edition, when it came in August 2021, moved away from the processes entirely, focusing on principles and performance domains. However, interestingly, the process group practice guide still took into account the 49 processes which are still valid for the current exam format. However, practitioners' feedback indicated that they needed a bit more streamlining, okay? So PMI listened and brought back the processes in the 8th edition, but made them leaner, more practical, and better integrated with the modern agile and hybrid approaches. Will it really change something dramatically for your PMP exam preparation? Maybe not, because fewer processes will now mean more depth within each one of them, right? Alright, moving on, let's talk about the 4th change, task reduction across domains. Now currently you are tested on 39 tasks in the PMP exam, right? 14 in the people domain, 17 in the process domain, and 8 in the business environment domain. However, with the new exam, this consolidates to just 26 tasks, okay? 8 in the people domain, 10 in the process domain, and 8 in the business environment domain, okay? That's a 33% reduction in the total number of tasks you need to know if you are a PMP exam candidate. Now, does this make the exam easier? Absolutely not. See, fewer tasks means each task carries more weight now, okay? And the questions will go deeper into the application and critical thinking rather than surface level memorization. Make sense? Next, now here is something interesting, okay? PMI is running a pilot program for the new exam from January 5th to the January 30th of 2026. So if you are an approved PMP applicant, you can register to take the new exam early during this pilot window. Now the benefit, you'll be among the first to pass the updated PMP exam, okay? And participants who are willing to write the exam in its pilot format receive a 20% rebate on their exam fee, and even a free exam retake after July 2026 if you are not able to pass the exam in its first attempt. Now, in return, you will need to provide feedback on your exam experience to PMI, which helps PMI refine the final version of the exam launching in July 2026, which is, I believe, a fair ask. So if you are confident in your preparation and you are a risk taker and you really want to get early access to this pilot program, please check the details on the PMI website. With that, moving on to the 6th change, and this is significant, okay? Artificial intelligence is now explicitly integrated into the PMP exam syllabus. PMI conducted extensive research showing AI's impact on project management, and the new exam reflects its reality without any kind of surprise, right? So you will see questions about using AI for risk analysis, schedule optimization, stakeholder communication, and data-driven decision making, okay? Now this of course will not be theoretical, but it will be about practical AI application in your daily project work as a project manager. So if you haven't explored tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or MS Copilot for project management tasks, now it's the time to start. You can watch a few of my videos on my YouTube channel after this one, where I have covered this topic in detail. Alright, let's discuss the 7th change, new question types. Now the exam now includes quite a few entirely new question formats. You will encounter case-based scenarios where you will read a detailed project situation and then you have to answer multiple questions based on that single case study, okay? Additionally, there are graph-based questions for you which will require you to interpret charts or interpret burn-down diagrams or network diagrams before you answer the question. So that's sort of data interpretation. You will also see enhanced matching questions, point and click hotspots, and pull-down lists, all requiring practical application of your PMP exam syllabus and not just theoretical memorization. You will be able to find the details of these question types in the new and updated PMP exam ECO, which is the examination content outline. Now this will require practicing such questions well in advance via mock simulators, okay? So make sure you keep an eye out for my PMP exam mock simulator on Udemy, which will be revised after July 2026 to include these new question types. But for now, till June 2026, the current version of the mock simulator is just fine. Now the eighth change that affects your exam day experience directly. The new exam has 185 questions, okay? 175 scored questions plus 10 pre-test questions, okay? And you will get 240 minutes as a total time. Now the good part is the time per question does not change significantly with this, okay? However, here is the key difference. Your breaks are now 2 5-minute breaks instead of the previous 2 10-minute breaks, okay? That's half the break time, okay? So you need to manage your stamina and your plan to sit through the entire exam differently, right? Additionally, the exam includes practicum hands-on questions involving tools, data analysis and case studies, okay? Now these are not simple multiple choice questions that used to be part of the PMP exam previously, okay? And believe me, you will struggle to keep to the time per question cutoff in this new exam format with this complex new question types, okay? So the key thing here is to do timed practice tests before you appear for the actual exam. So moving on to point number 9, how should you adjust your study strategy for the new exam? Well, first, you need to significantly increase your time on business environment topics, right? For example, compliance, organizational change, governance, external environment assessments, etc. So this domain has tripled in terms of weightage, so it deserves triple attention, right? Secondly, master agile and hybrid methodologies thoroughly. With 60% of the questions covering adaptive approaches, your understanding of Scrum, Kanban and hybrid frameworks needs to be rock solid, right? Thirdly, focus on value-based delivery and outcome thinking rather than just traditional metrics like scope, schedule and cost. The new exam emphasizes stakeholder value, benefits realization, etc. throughout the project life cycle. Make sense? And finally, the 10th point and the most important one, understanding the critical timeline of events to help you make a strategic decision for your PMP exam. So here are the key dates, okay? December 2025, you need to register for the pilot exam program if you are interested. January 2026, the pilot program launches. April 2026, new study materials gets released, and July 2026, new exam launches, okay? Now, if you are already preparing with the current materials, I strongly recommend taking the exam before June 2026. And that is simply because your existing effort for studying the syllabus of the PMP exam remains valid up to June 2026, and you will avoid the entire relearning of the new content and the new ECO which comes with the new exam, okay? Now the current exam is already established with the proven strategies, so you might as well use those to clear the exam before June 2026. Now of course, April onwards next year, I will be updating my study materials to reflect the new exam pattern, but that might take some time, right? So I believe the best strategy here would be to brace yourself and line all your ducks in a row to get the exam cleared by June 2026. That's about 6 to 7 months in the horizon from now, which is more than enough to pass the exam in its current format, okay? And it is more reliable, more predictable, and a more efficient way to clear your PMP exam till the time the exam changes. So make sure you check out my study resources on Udemy for the current version of the PMP exam, and I'll see you again soon with some updated videos on the new version of the PMP exam as part of my next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.